All right, I believe our live stream is finally working here after a little battle with that. This is Martin to the plate. We're in the top of inning number 2. It is a scoreless game, but South Windsor with 2 down. Now threatening as they have 2 on. We'll try to bring you up to speed on what took place in the top half of the first and bottom half as we wrangle through this beautiful game here today. 17U American Legion Baseball pivotal matchup between South Windsor and Enfield. This is Jake Martin at the plate. Rancourt on the mound. Has given up base hit and walked one here in the top of inning number 2. And the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Martin trying to deliver, the third baseman. Nice play by the first baseman over there to make the play. Anybody's going to go back, it's going to be ruled foul. Heck of a play anyhow. That's Chaplin who's at the bag at first for Enfield. Was just in foul territory. So Martin gets a swing again. He would have been out. Count remains full, 3-2, and looking to run on back is the pitcher, Rancourt. That's the second hit batter in the inning. So Martin down to the bag at first is going to load the bases here.
Up next for South Windsor.
You got Whitlock, who was hit by a pitch to start the inning. Antonisi, the base hit down the left field line, first hit of the game by South Windsor here in the second. Then Martin hit by a pitch, brings up the number 9 guy in the lineup. So Kruzik with a chance to deliver big time here for South Windsor. He's playing second base today. Brian takes the pitch up high. 2 outs, bases loaded. Scoreless game in the top of the second. The pitch in there for the strike. Good looking pitch from Rancourt. He needed that. Runners lead from all the bags and the offering. In there for the strike 3 call. Big strikeout with the bases loaded for Rancourt, and he gets out of the jam. And, South Windsor will leave 3 on base on a hit batter, single hit batter. And we'll be back with the bottom of inning number 2 in just a moment. Stay with us. Well, each team has collected a hit here in the game as we get organized into the bottom of inning number 2. Mr. Zimmerman, who has done a terrific job as the leader of Connecticut American Legion Baseball for so many years and so heavily involved with the South Windsor program. will be joining us throughout the day. He certainly helped to organize this event and has done a terrific job. And what a thrill it is for these teams from Enfield and South Windsor. This is the third of 4 games being played today, and you can see that beautiful blue sky in the backdrop as we take a look at this grand city of Hartford, Connecticut, inside Dunkin' Donuts Park. And there's a line drive, and it's through the shortstop hole there, and Brink has himself a leadoff single as he went after the first pitch, and Enfield now is a leadoff runner on. So that's their second hit of the game. And they have a runner on. And it's going to bring up Chapman. Or Chaplin. That pitch over there for the strike call. Throw to the bag at first, running it back. So Chaplin to the plate. Ball gets away from the catcher. And taking second on the wild pitch is Brink in the scoring position. So for the second time in the game, Enfield with a runner on in scoring position. He had the leadoff single by Kluntz back in the first, and then 3 consecutive outs put up on the board by today's starting pitcher, Andrew Goff for South Windsor. That's fouled off the foot of the right-handed hitter. So that's Dustin Chaplin. Got a runner in scoring position, and the pitch to the plate. A little high. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Goff's right-handed pitch, well struck, high up in the air. Left fielder on his horse trying to get to it. It's over his head towards a warning track, and a run will score easily. Chaplin drove that deep out towards the 362 mark to the warning track, and he's got himself an RBI double. And Enfield jumps out to a quick 1-0 lead.
Now batting number 1, Brady Rancourt.
It brings up the pitcher, Brady Rancourt. Rancourt coming up with a runner in scoring position now, certainly trying to help his own cause. Goff will step off the rubber, now back on top. Checks the runner down at second, and the pitch down in the dirt gets through the catcher. And an advance at third base by Chaplin. So now you got runners, well, just one runner on at the bag at third. And that infield will come in for South Windsor. That was a rocket hit by Chaplin for the double and an RBI. Bring home the game's first run. Pitch fouled off, so you got 1 ball and 1 strike. Still nobody out here in the inning. 1 run on 3 hits now for Enfield. Off with a long look in, the righty. Looked like a curveball from this angle down the third base side in there for the strike. And count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's looking for his first strikeout of the ball game. Rancourt up for the first time. Infield still in around the horn and the pitch to the plate. Swing and a miss. Ball dropped by the catcher. He finds a throwing angle, and they get the out. They come back home, throw off line, a run will score. So they complete the strikeout, but they give up a run. And it's now 2-0. I don't even know how you score that.
Number 12, Ryan Gaetani.
But Enfield's going to score a run. I guess that's a stolen base, a home, right? Is that how that works out? Yeah, that's going to be a stolen base, a home. So interesting decision. Knipp trying to get that runner going down the line at first after the drop strikeout pitch, and it turns into a run on a steal of home. So Rancourt is out to make it the first out of the inning. But it's 2-0. 2 runs on 3 hits. Catani to the plate. And plays you get 1 down. Base is empty. Goff's right-handed pitch down in the dirt. Tell you what a thrill it is for these youngsters to come on out here and compete. Really has a major league field, one of the most successful minor league baseball teams in the country, the Yard Goats. They've done a terrific job in the field, always highly regarded and rated. Great concession stand area, wonderful concourse. They're using the big video board down the left field line showing the picture of the batters as they come up to the plate. There's a strikeout and 2 down. So Jake Chaplin will step up to the plate, the first baseman. He's the number 9 hitter in the lineup for this Enfield team. Up for the first time, went golfing there and popped it up and out of play towards the backstop. Taking a look at the 17U. South Windsor still looking for their first win. Ground ball hit the third. Long throw across the diamond is there in time. And that is just a good throw by Jake Martin to get the out. So Chaplin retired. That's going to go 5-3 if you like to score at home. We'll be back with the top of the third in just a moment. All right, welcome right back. Craig Zimmerman joining us. As we mentioned, certainly has done a terrific job over the years as part of American Legion Baseball, as the leader of Connecticut American Legion Baseball for many years now. Really taking a step back and concentrating on South Windsor so you can win one of those state championships.
One of the best jobs you can get is to be the former state director.
Yeah, absolutely. Ask David Greenleaf, right? Yeah. I think he wants to be former. Only kidding. As we move on here into the top of the third. So just like every year, you come here to Dunkin' Donut Park and enjoy the atmosphere, and these guys get a chance to play some big-time baseball.
Yeah, we've come here since the year that it opened, and the people here are fantastic to work with, and what a great opportunity for all 4 of our teams today.
They were very, very considerate helping us to get into this press box area, and they go full bore for you. I mean, they've opened up their big production room, and they're using their video board for you, so great feel. There's a base hit up the middle by Maybe, who hit a fly ball out his first time, so good start here for South Windsor. Is that right? Are they still looking for their first win here at the 17U level?
They are. I mean, it's a combination of being a little bit, our guys like to refer to it as being a little inexperienced, not using the young word, but we're probably both. And they've also got hit by the injury bug the last week or so. But they're still battling. I think that 7 or 8 of their games were by 3 runs or less.
Runner's going to go. The throw on down, and sliding under the tag is maybe. So that's a beautiful slide there because that throw is on the money. It was close play. Clint's doing a nice job getting that ball down. But now you got a runner in scoring position. Big moment here. Kniffin, the batter, he's the catcher today. Fly ball out his first time.
Yeah, so he's catching today, but by trade he's a center fielder. Really good outfielder, really fast, but he's stepped up because they've had a couple injuries with the top two catchers.
Looks like in South Windsor things are alive and well when you talk about the number of young men playing baseball and some other communities. It would be a headache for you if you were still a leader of a Connecticut American Legion baseball. They're finding it difficult to field some teams.
We have our work cut out for us with all the teams that combined and stuff. This year we added East Windsor. We're really happy about working with them over the next few years. But the level of competition is, in our zone anyway, in Zone 3, is way up this year.
I think you're seeing that across the board, There's always that competitor out there called, AAU, but Legion Ball is certainly outstanding. It certainly has the endorsement of many players, including that very good baseball coach out at the University of Connecticut. Base hit for Goff, by the way. Now you got runners at first and third, and something brewing here. Third hit of the game now for South Windsor, so I'm usually bad luck for you.
We'll see at 7 o'clock.
All right. That's the one that counts, right? They all count, of course.
Yeah.
Runner's going to go. They're going to throw to third instead, so they did not. Wrong foot maybe as he was ready for that and scurried back to the bag, so Goff able to steal the base uncontested.
We have a really good crop of younger players coming up, many who are on this team. They just, they need a couple hits and get a W and feel better better about themselves.
At least they're hanging in there. That's the
Absolutely.
important thing. Well, I got a good chance here today against this Enfield team. Score just 2-0 at this point as we move on to the top of inning number 3 here. And they're threatening with 2 in scoring position now. Big base hit by Whitlock, and they may find themselves tied here. Overcoming the injuries is a difficult thing to do, obviously, but it does give chances to others to come on out and compete and move up a level. That's an off-speed pitch, swing and a miss, and he strikes out Whitlock, who was hit by his pitch his first time.
Now batting number 4, Robbie Godey.
So Godey comes up, hit a fly ball out his first time. Big spot, 2 on in scoring position and 2 out. How do you acquire a facility like this? Is it a lot of preparation to get it done?
I can only imagine. We've been blessed. About a week ago, we played at Palmer Field in Middletown, and I think they spent more than $1 million to a facility that was one of the best in the state, and it's unbelievable now. Over the weekend, we played at a couple great parks in Cape Cod, and then to come here today, I mean, our field's pretty good, but I'm not sure the kids are going to want to go back home and play home games.
A little slow roller to the second baseman, fielded there on the first, and Haskins gets the job done, and that threat for South Windsor will go by the boards on the ground ball out. So they'll leave a couple on in scoring position, and we are through 2.5, and it is still 2-0 Enfield. We'll pause for a second, and we'll be back with more chatter. All right, welcome back as we move on to the bottom of inning number 3, and Drew Mabey gets a chance to throw on the big diamond and on that gorgeous mound out there. I mean, the kids, they're just going to be just in awe over this. Look at the condition of this field.
Yeah. I mean, we had the opportunity a few years ago to be on the field at Fenway for batting practice for about an hour and a half. But second to that, this is the best experience our team, we also played at West Point, but it's in the top 3.
It is absolutely wonderful, and I've never been to the baseball field out at West Point. Top of the order leading things off here. Kluntz to lead it off. He had a base hit, stole a base, was stranded at second in the first as Drew Mabey out in the mound. And I guess tonight you got a guy that's pitching after he pitched a perfect game. What goes to your mind when you're taking the hill after that outing?
We yesterday we asked the team if they've ever heard of this guy, John Vandermeer, and one of the kids had. I think he probably Googled it when I wasn't looking, who threw 2 no-hitters in a row. But, Jason Ray last week for us against Middletown was, as they say, perfect, and he really was. We made a few plays behind him in the field, but he was he's one of the best pitchers in the zone, and he certainly showed it that night.
That had to be quite a thrill. How many strikeouts did he have?
He had 10 strikeouts. I think we made 4 or 5 plays in the field, and he got behind the leadoff hitter in the 7th inning, 3-0, and came back, and then they hit the ball at a couple guys, and the last out was a ground ball to our shortstop, who's going to Central, Hunter Pascalini, and I'm glad that's where the ground ball went, because that was a tough moment.
It had to be. It had to be very nerve-wracking trying to make that play and the throw across. Haskins in the on-deck circle as maybe pitching his first inning. He moved on, was playing center field to start the game, and that pitch is fouled back. Have you been to a Yard Goats game? Have you had a chance to come out?
I have. I've come to a few, and it's just great atmosphere, good level of play. Can't get a ticket, by the way.
Yeah, it's difficult. That's right.
You really
Absolutely.
have to, plan in advance for some of their bigger games. I think they sell out virtually every game, which is great.
Pitch foul back.
We're trying to have part of the state tournament, the finals of the state tournament here maybe in 2020. We'll see. We have to work that out.
That'd be terrific.
Yeah.
Wish it happened a couple years ago. I mean, this place is so beautiful. It makes sense to have it here. Yeah. Great showcase for the Yard Goats. Would they try to work it into part of their schedule as a doubleheader at all? Or?
Well, no, because we need the access to the field all day just because of the weather. So they really have to be on the road. So that really has to be planned in advance.
So Enfield with a leadoff runner on now. Pitch down low. The food's good too.
Yeah, they do a very nice job, especially for the Yard Goat games. I mean, I was disappointed I couldn't go to Bears tonight.
That's a Martinick at the plate, by the way. Just want to make that adjustment. Got the lineup a little late for some reason here today, and I'm just playing a little catch-up.
In Enfield, all their teams are doing well this year. Like I said, they're 19U's in first place in our part of the zone.
Runner's going to go, throw, a little offline, and stolen base. He looks like a nice player, this catcher here for Enfield. Got some pretty good speed. Kind of takes away that threat for the double play here. How much baseball knowledge are you seeing these players come through the rank with now as they make their way to the 19U level?
I think they're all doing really well. I mean, we have a kid on our 19U team. I said his name before, Hunter Pascalini, who's one of the smarter players that I've ever had, in my 40 years. But that's thanks to all the feeder programs and our high school program. Coach McDermott does an outstanding job. But no, I think the kids are getting good training throughout the state.
You're seeing baseball players specialize? You're starting to see more of these guys say, you know what, baseball's kind of my ticket to an opportunity to play at the college level?
There clearly are some that do, but you talked about Coach Penders earlier, and I remember one of the things he talked to our players about is the fact that he loves to have quarterbacks or point guards, on his team. He likes leaders, people that play other sports, and I'm a firm believer you can't play baseball 12 months out of the year.
Maybe from the stretch with a runner down at the bag at second, I should say. Martinick at the plate.
We have a whole bunch of kids that play either football or soccer. Or
pitch missed inside, looked like an off-speed pitch there. Football team had a pretty good year this year, didn't they, at South Windsor?
That was actually last year.
Was that
or 2
last
years
year?
ago.
Yeah.
They were young this past year. 2 years ago, they had a good run into the state tournament. One of the assistant coaches on our 17U team, Rich Mabey, is an assistant on the football team in addition to being a school teacher at South Windsor High. And they did a really nice job.
Maybe looking in for that side, trying to get out of a bit of a jam here. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that's a strike 3 call. Martinick was starting down towards the bag at first, and he got summons over to the dugout. Well, usually when you make that jump before the umpire barks it out, you influence his call, don't you? Haskins to the plate now. Joshua. Runner's going to go. Second to third on the steal attempt. The throw into left field. Bouncing up is Kluntz, and he's going to come on home with the third run of the game for Enfield. He'll get a stolen base and an error, allowing him to scoot on home. Probably going the catcher. We do not have the official scorebook up in our location here. So it becomes a 3-0 score here in the bottom of the third inning. Maybe he's pitched to the plate. Kind of a late swing there by Haskins. How's the concession stand doing out at Rotary Field? Because I'll tell you what, that is you guys have the best burgers.
We're doing pretty well, and we're waiting for you a couple weeks from now. Hopefully
right.
You'll be at South Windsor.
I should send Riley to Meriden. Is that what I should do?
I would do that.
Yeah, I think you're right. He can deal with the rain outdoors. They don't have a press box over there. That field worked out rather fine last year, Seppa Field.
They did a great job, I thought.
They worked hard.
First time doing something like that, absolutely.
Swing and a miss and a strike out of Haskins. And not an easy facility to get it all done. There's a lot of worries there because they don't have the press box such as a Parma Field, nor did they have the experience, as you mentioned. But they were spot on. They were perfect.
They're an example. One of the things I always talk about our program is how many volunteers we have, parents that help out. And I was very impressed with what they did, again, getting people there to help.
Yeah, they had some good numbers. The grounds crew did a nice job. Because we had a lot of rain, didn't we, just before that that week of tournament play? This is Duga to the plate, grounded out his first time. Got a run home in the inning. Here in the bottom of the third. I've been trying to win the Powerball on a couple of occasions. Haven't had much luck, and I was gonna build a championship stadium for American Legion here in Connecticut if I got the billion, a $500 million, whatever it was.
Well, we'd like to have a nice turf field in South Windsor,
Yeah,
so if you win, we'll talk.
All right, I like that idea. You'd like to move to turf, huh?
We'd like to for a whole bunch of reasons, yeah.
Swing and a miss by Duga. Good job by Mabey. Gave up that leadoff walk, a stolen base, and a couple of stolen bases there led to the run off the errant throw. So we are through 3, and it is 3-0. Enfield on top of South Windsor. We'll be back with more. You sticking around for more? Okay. All right. Mr. Zimmerman will hang around for one more half, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back as we move on to the top of the fourth inning in a game that's moving right along in favor of Enfield. South Windsor still looking for their first 17U victory of the season, and they come to the plate here in the top of the fourth inning. How'd you figure out who's home and who's away?
Well, this is a regular zone game, so it should be what was originally on the schedule.
In the past, you've had more of an exhibition matchup here.
Yeah, we've tried it both ways. I mean, the advantage of an exhibition is it's a lot easier to play everybody.
Yeah.
But this year we just asked we asked Enfield what they would prefer to do. I know we're going to make sure at the 19U level that all 13 of our guys, get in and get the experience.
That adds to the camaraderie, too, of a long and arduous season, doesn't it,
Yeah.
when everybody gets a chance to play in a special atmosphere?
It's nice. It's one thing to play at a place like this, but to do that, you actually have to play.
Yes, right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, putting that uniform on and sitting on the bench, not any fun unless you're over the age of 50, perhaps. Then you don't want. You must be eager to go out there and play.
Those days are well past, and there really weren't those days either. So, yeah.
There's so many guys involved with American Legion Baseball that you've known through your 40 years around it, and a lot of special people. If you had to name your top three, and that's an unfair question, I know, a couple of folks that have just gone beyond the call of duty for American Legion here in Connecticut.
Well, so one of them actually is umpiring behind home tonight. George Yates is the former head coach in South Windsor, for 20 plus years, and he's a guy I coached with for a number of years, and there's not a better person that I've ever met. But on a state level, Fran Mullins was special.
Yep.
In Bristol. It's tough. I mean, you had Bill Pomfret.
Yep.
You have people like Dave Greenleaf that are kind of the lifers. Paul LaFleur, the lifer. But so many really good people.
It's amazing. I knew it was going to be an unfair question, but I'm glad you brought up Mr. Mullins because he was a special guy along with Bill out in Middletown, of course. So here's Bidwell stepping up to the plate. I know you were anxious to stay through this half inning to see this team come to the plate here and perhaps be their good luck charm in the fourth.
I'd like to see a couple base runners and then just get a hit or get a break here.
Bidwell struck out his first time. Rancourt remains out on the mound. He's big, tall lefty, isn't he? Looking at him here. Have you noticed the kids going in to buy souvenirs at all? That's a new pitcher out there now. Excuse me. Got to pay attention to some of the stuff that's going on. That's popped up towards the stands and out of play. Went over to that shaded area. Not an easy play for Chaplin.
No, this has a couple things that remind me of Fenway with stuff jutting out or small foul territory down the lines. It's got some character.
It really does. They've done a terrific job. Another pitch swung on, popped up to the outfield grass, and just out of the reach of Chaplin, falls in safely for a base hit for Bidwell. So you're looking for a little bit of good fortune, we'll call it, and Bidwell gets some there as he bloops it into a spot where nobody could get to it.
When you look tomorrow, it's a base hit. It's no different than a line shot.
As the fourth hit for South Windsor, actually out-hitting Enfield 4-3, but they trail on the scoreboard 3-0. Starting to see some changes in the lineup all over the place now. So that's Bryce DePiro out in the mound. In for Rancourt. Who's out at the plate for South Windsor?
So that's Anthony Antonisi.
Antonisi? Okay. That's right. He's wearing 20, right?
Yep.
Okay. We'll toss over the bag at first. Runner good back there. Antonisi with a base hit his first time.
On deck is one of the players that we now have from East Windsor, going through tryouts. We got 8 new players. That's productive.
Yep, got the runner along. It's kind of funny you talk about that. I was at a picnic this weekend, like most of us were, I would imagine, and talking about the home runs and the RBIs and stats. They really don't look at that as being productive anymore. I mean, obviously it has its place, but that's productive right there. You get a point for that.
At our level, you got to do something with every at bat, and we talk all the time about how important 90 feet is, with wood bats.
Here's Martin to the plate, pitching there for the strike. Did you think wood bats would stick when it was first voted into Connecticut American Legion Baseball?
I actually didn't, but now it's probably 90-something% of the coaches are in favor. I mean, early on, that was not the case. The best players are still the best players. I mean, it's actually easier to find out who can play with wood.
I think scouting, the scouts out there, whether they're college or perhaps a little bit higher level, appreciate that too?
I think so. I mean, if you can hit with a wood bat, you can hit with metal. The reverse isn't always the case. We played a couple games, like I said, in Cape Cod over the weekend, and we got to use metal, and we got more hits than we normally get. I mean, the metal really does help.
Did you play at the Cape Cod League Parks?
We did. We had a great opportunity to see what the Cape is like. I'd recommend that highly to anybody looking for a vacation spot.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Is that your first time there? There's a ball well struck in the center field for a base hit, and South Windsor's got something brewing here in the top of the 4th as the throw comes on home, and that's the 5th hit of the game. Now runners on the corners with 1 down.
Up next for South Windsor, number 11.
It was a well-struck ball.
So the next 2 hitters are the leading hitters, batting average-wise, actually. I'm sorry. So we have number 9 and number 1. So this is Brian Kruzik.
Yep.
And then Drew Mabey. So, what we talked about before, I mean, Brian just needs to get the ball in play and hopefully just not hit a one-hopper to the middle infield and we'll score a run.
Runner's going to go, and they're going to send the runner home now. No tag made, and no tag made. They both will steal a base and score. Had to hesitate there as Bidwell scores from third on the delay. Martin able to scoot past the tag in the second base, and fortuitous all the way around. That was interesting. They threw behind a runner who was scooting. That was Martin from first to second. He did a nice job at delaying, didn't he?
He did. I think if they had to do all over again, they might have commuted a little better and maybe from first to home instead of throwing from first and second. But I thought the throw was going to get him at second, and they probably would have been happy with that. But it was a nice slide, like you said.
So now they got a runner in scoring position with a run home here in the top of the 4th. At the top of the order, waiting on deck. Kruzik at the plate with a chance to collect an RBI and make it a 1-run game. Pitch missed outside. Well, once again, it was a wonderful hut stove dinner that was put together by all those hard-working guys behind the scenes.
One of our players that you're going to talk to is Brian's older brother Dan, and he's going to tell you about his grandfather, Tony Kruzik Sr., who served in World War II. But I'll let him give you the details.
Yeah,
but I know Mr. Kruzik is probably listening now and definitely going to be watching the second game.
Looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll get a couple of interviews in, although you have one of your players who will be playing just about the entire game, right?
Yeah, that's Danny. Yep.
So they get Brian.
The other one is Jake Main, who again has a grandfather who was in the service. Who's going to be? I think he's going to be watching from Virginia. So thank you for covering these games tonight.
Oh no! When you brought it up, I thought that was a wonderful idea. Come on out. This is maybe he's started the game as a center fielder. Come on the pitch a bit here for South Windsor. What's the communication between the 17U and the 19s? As obviously all these guys want to progress as time moves on.
Coaching staff, we probably communicate at least once a day. How are people doing, what they might need, what we might need, what we can do together to help. It's I think that's the only way it works.
Maybe he takes that on the fist and
we have
it foul.
we have a big advantage in South Windsor. Like I said, with the high school coach, Coach McDermott, we probably talk every other day during both of our seasons.
It's a nice facility you folks have put together over there at Rotary. You mentioned wanting to go to turf. It's seen that all over New England now. I think Yale just made their baseball field a turf field. Pretty sure they did.
Yeah, it would really help the high school in a lot of ways, and like we have the indoor hitting facility, but it would be nice to know if you have turf and it pours all day, as long as it stops, you can play. Just want to make sure we can find something. We got to find the funding, but the second thing is to find something that doesn't play too fast, so it's still baseball.
Here's the pitch to the plate. Curveball missed inside to maybe. Remember, he's got a runner in scoring position here with 2 out. Counted 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, he couldn't ask for better weather today. I mean, weather gods are very kind. Runner's going to go. Here comes the pitch, and that's an uncontested steal at third. He got a huge jump.
Great, yep.
Well, now he can score on a wild pitch. An error. I think there's 11 ways to score from third. I don't remember them all. There's a ground ball hit up the middle. Fielded. Throw. And got him. Good throw there by the shortstop. He's made a couple of nice plays here today as Martinick guns it on, and that's going to do it in the top of the 4th inning. So we got the bottom of the 4th coming up. Mr. Zimmerman, thank you so much for all your helping and inviting us out here to this event today. And
thank you, Dan.
All right.
Looking forward to seeing you in the state tournament.
Looking forward to it. Thank you. Save me a hot dog and a hamburger. All right, welcome right back as we move on here to the bottom of the 4th inning. 3-1 you score. Enfield on top. Enfield with a 7-8 record in 17U play. Got a very important 19U, our senior division game upcoming. Following this one is 7 o'clock tonight. Looking forward to that. South Windsor and Enfield, the battle. This is South Windsor and Enfield right now here at Dunkin' Donuts Park, and nice to have you with us on this glorious day. 3:08 down that line and right, and there's a little ground ball to the first baseman. Fielded on the backhand side, and Cody does a nice job of fielding that, and Brink is retired. Brink had singled back in the 2nd and scored a run. So that goes as 3 unassisted, and it brings up Chaplin. This is just into the plate, had a RBI double as he hit it towards the gap, out towards the 362 mark in left field near the warning track. A big poke Maybe's pitch down low, breaks away. That was back in the second inning. Drew Maybe coming on and pitching in the third after Goff started. Goff touched up for a couple of runs. Maybe struck out the side after giving up a walk. That runner eventually came around to score as a leadoff walk to Kluntz. South Windsor scored their only run on a delayed steal, a double steal, back in the fourth inning in the top half of. This is the bottom of the fourth, 7-inning game. Maybe with a long look in for the sign from the catcher. Kniffen behind the plate sets the target and the pitch. Now a little low. Outfield straight away. Antonisi, the center fielder. Pitch in there for the strike 3. Chaplin didn't agree with that call, so he goes down. South Windsor pitching today has collected 6 strikeouts. They've done a nice job in that regard. They're actually out hitting this Enfield team. South Windsor 1 run on 5 hits and no errors, and 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the opposition in Enfield. So to the plate comes Rancourt. He started the day as a pitcher, now playing in the field. We have not been privy to the substitutions that are taking place, so we do apologize for that. But we have 2 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Maybe's pitch fouled off towards the screen on the first base side. Netting going down beyond each baseline, both first and third, protecting the fans from foul balls. Maybe's pitch spins one just wide. Drew Maybe, the delivery. Ball popped up, foul play, and out of play, off to the right. Cody gave it a run, couldn't get there. Rancourt awaits. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Maybe trying to collect South Windsor's first 1-2-3 inning, missed high, and the count goes full at 3-2. Tell you what, if you come out here to the Dunkin' Donut Park to enjoy either the Yard Goats or some other baseball or events that they host here, I highly recommend the popcorn. It's outstanding. Pitch up high, that's ball 4. That is the third walk issued today by South Windsor pitching. DePiro stepping up to the plate now. DePiro came on in relief of the starter Rancourt, and he's now hitting in the number 8 slot. Rancourt must have gone on to play third. I'm just surmising that by looking at his placement here in the batting order. Two out, one on here in the bottom of the fourth. Quick throw to the bag at first, and Rancourt got back there. Tell you what, a very nice crowd in attendance here. They've done a nice job. A lot of folks coming out to enjoy the action. As Maybe's pitch missed outside. Swing and a miss. As Maybe challenged him right there, and the count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes. A good job done there by Mr. Drew Maybe as he gets the strikeout of DePiero, and that's going to do it in the inning. Nothing up on the wall in that half inning of play for Enfield. We'll be back with the top of 5. Got a good one brewing between South Windsor and Enfield. All right, welcome back as we move on to the top of the 5th inning. The number 2 hitter in the lineup coming up to the plate for South Windsor to start things off here. And they try to creep back into this game trailing 3-1. Niffen to step in, Goff to follow, Whitlock to follow thereafter, I do believe. We'll have to wait and see how things pan out here, so to speak. In the 5th. Rancourt started out in the mound for Enfield here today. Piero has come on. A little slow roller, goes off the bag. It's a fair ball, and that's going to be an infield single. They've been able to race down the line. Great hustle. That was just a bit of bad luck for the first baseman, Chaplin. Now you got a leadoff runner on the base hit. That will be hit number 6 in the ball game. So Goff, who started the game as the pitcher for South Windsor, moved to the field with Maybe coming on from center field to pitch. Goff today 1 for 2 with a single. Got the runner hung up, and the run down. The tag is finally made. So they got Niffen hung up there. Will go as a caught stealing. Good work all the way around by the defense. Martinick able to put the tag on him. So you have one down. Goff up with the bases clear now. Pitch foul straight back. Yeah, Whitlock in the on-deck circle. Goff trying to ignite some offense now with one down. Nobody on for South Windsor. DePiero looking in. The lefty will twist and throw down low. Ellington having a great season in the Northern Division. Of the 17U. 12-4. Enfield at 7-9, as we mentioned, and South Windsor Junior Legion still looking. Win number 1 is a ball. High hopper, and it's dropped by the shortstop. He was going to have to hurry that throw, and I think Martinick took a look to see how hard and quickly he had to get that across the diamond and took his eye off it just momentarily. And they will rule that an error. That's a tough error there. It would have been a real tough play. Anyhow, Goff reaches. So you got a runner on first. Whitlock to the plate. Right-handed hitter. Barrow looking in for the sign. He'll throw to first instead. Running it back there. Here's the pitch to the plate. That's lofted high up into your shallow right center field. Center fielder coming on over, and he'll make the catch. The throw to first, looking for the double play, and hustling on back was Goff. Just got back in the nick of time. Kind of clipped the back of the first baseman leg. That was Chaplin. He's limping around a little bit, but none the worse for wear. So Godey will step up with 2 down. And a runner on first. Pierrot out in the mound, working his second inning in relief. Varancourt came on in the 4th, now working here in the 5th effectively. High fastball, swing and a miss. Throw a lob down to first, will get away. No advance there by Goff. Chaplin quickly hustling after it, not allowing the runner to advance. South Windsor has already run into an out here in this top of the 5th. DePero's pitch fouled off. Godey today has hit a fly ball out and grounded out. So he's making his 3rd plate appearance here at Dunkin' Donut Park here in the beautiful city of Hartford, Connecticut. This game started a little early, before the hour of 4 o'clock. Ground ball hit slowly. Second baseman will field it, and on the first it goes for the out. So nice job by Haskins to move it on, and that will do it for South Windsor in the top of the 5th inning. So they had the base hit, and another runner on Vieira, and they come up empty here. So we'll be back with the bottom of inning number 5, and it remains Enfield 3, South Windsor 1. All right, welcome right back to the bottom of inning number 5. And Enfield with the lead at 3-1 over South Windsor. And leading things off, the number 9 hitter in the lineup for Enfield. That's Jake Chaplin. He grounded out. So he's 0 for 1 here today, facing maybe, and the pitch high and inside for ball number 1. Well, this kicks off our coverage on SportingNewsCT.com of American Legion Baseball here in 2019. Special thanks to the Connecticut American Legion Committee for allowing us to be part of all this wonderful action as that ball is lofted foul. Catcher never found it. Clance with the mask off a little tardy and no chance. So Chaplin with a chance to swing again. Check that. That is actually Niffen, who's behind the plate for South Windsor there. Maybe he's collected quite a chunk of strikeouts in his relief work here today. I got him for 4. Working his 3rd inning of relief. Gets the strike call. We'll bring you some baseball from Bristol tomorrow. Steve Riley will join us for that. There's a strike 3. So Chaplin goes down swinging, and you got 1 out here. In the bottom of inning number 5. Kluntz now stepping up to the plate. He has singled and walked. Single to start the ball game. Walked back in the 3rd. Was a race caught stealing back in the 3rd inning. Fouls that off the foot. Of course, the Yard Goats have been having themselves a pretty nice season. Long look in by Maybe, and the pitch missed outside. More baseball coming your way at 7 o'clock here tonight. We'll bring you as many American Legion playoff games, beginning with the round of 32. A couple of short weeks. That ball lofted high up into the air. Bring you all the super regional games from 2 facilities, South Windsor and Meriden. That's going to be a base hit. So Kluntz comes up with his 2nd hit of the ball game. He's been on base 3 times now, and he got 1 out, 1 on. That's the 4th hit of the game. It's been a while since they've collected a hit. Got to go all the way back to the 2nd inning before that hit just a moment ago. Martinick to the plate. Martinick, the shortstop, was 0 for 2 here today with a fly ball out and a strikeout. Pitch a little high. Of course, both these teams playing out of Zone 3. RCP, their junior team having a nice season. That ball lofted down the left field line. It's going to scoot on past the left fielder. An advancement by the runners all the way to 2nd and 3rd. And it'll be an error on the left fielder.
Now batting number 6, Josh Haskins.
That's the first error by South Windsor today. 1 run on 6 hits and 1 error now for South Windsor. For Enfield, 3 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. Haskins to the plate, the second baseman, looking for his first hit. Infield is in around the horn. South Windsor cannot afford to give up. Another run here as they're running out of outs. 7-inning game. They got the 6th and the 7th to look forward to offensively. Or maybe in a bit of a jam right now. Does have that strikeout pitch in his back pocket. Since he's come in relief, he has struck out 5. Got 1 out here in the 5th. And that missed outside. This game started a little early today. Been a long day for all, of course, so they can move him along, they will. There's ball 4. Haskins down to the bag at first to load up the bases with 1 out. Kluntz at third. Martinick at the bag at second, and Haskins now takes over at first base. And there's going to be a meeting of the minds out on the hill here for South Windsor, and they may make a pitching change. Let's wait and see. Nothing as of yet. Yep, they're going to make a change here. Maybe we'll come off the hill. With that, we'll rest our vocal cords. We'll be back in a moment. All right, tough situation here with the bases loaded and just 1 out. And it's going to be rolled down to the first baseman, and they'll concede the run and take the out the bag at first. Kluntz will score. Duga retired. That's going to go 3 unassisted. So another run up on the board to make it 4-1. It brings Brink back to the plate. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Brink in the ballgame is singled and rolled out to the first baseman. So Godey got the shore out there. Bases, runners now at second and third. Krunick is on the mound in relief, by the way. Krunick into the windup and the pitch. Ball lobbed up in the air. Second baseman of the outfield grass will make the catch. And that will end the inning. So a run goes up on the board on a base hit, an error, a walk, and an infield out. And it is 4-1. And we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the top of 6 right after this. Stay with us. All right, welcome right back as we continue with our coverage here on SportingNewsCT.com of 2019 American Legion Baseball. And boy, another year we get a chance to watch these young men compete at the wonderful level of American Legion play. South Windsor at the plate here. Oh, ground ball hit towards a shortstop charge and a hurry-up throw, not in time, and a bang-bang play at first. And good hustle getting down the line by Greg Bidwell, and Bidwell is safe. So he leads it off with a base hit, does Bidwell. That's his second hit of the ball game. Antonisi now stepping up. Antonisi is singled and grounded out here today. He's played a couple of spots in the outfield, done a terrific job. So South Windsor trying to get a rally going here in the top of 6, trailing by a score of 4-1. That, by the way, is their 7th hit of the game. 1 run, 7 hits and 1 error. 4 runs, 5 hits and 1 error for Enfield. Runner's going to go. Throw on down, not in time, and that's a stolen base by Bidwell. So Bidwell quickly into the bag at second. South Windsor trying to get aggressive on the base pass now. Not a bad idea to do that. Perhaps try to unsettle things a tad. New pitcher on, by the way. It's Martinick, who has moved from shortstop to the pitcher's mound and comes with some heat. He appears to be of the closer variety. Martinick standing tall on the mound, and the right-hander's pitch to the plate is fisted way up in the air and foul off to the third base side. That third base view, by the way, that you're seeing on our GoPro is the same that we have from our broadcast location here just beyond the home plate down the third baseline. Obscured from our view. That ball is hit down in that left field corner. It's anybody's guess from our vantage point here today. Starting to see some shadows cast across the field here at Dunkin' Donuts Park. This facility is all about the folks in attendance, and that's one of the reasons why they are a tough ticket to get. And coming on out here to watch the Yard Goats play, you better plan on it. You're not just going to show up at the ballpark. I would imagine a few occasions you can, but Antonisi able to draw the walk, and now something brewing here for South Windsor. As they got 2 on, nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. Welcome Dan Boyd from Vernon, Connecticut. Folks from Bakersfield, California tuning in here today to enjoy the action. So certainly appreciate this. Is Martin. He'll bunt one, and runners will advance. Nobody covering first. That works brilliantly. Well, they were just charging from all directions, weren't they? And now you got the bases loaded with what turns out to be a bunt single. So they caught him a bit by surprise, and that will go as a base hit, 8th of the game. Krudnick now. Actually, we got a pinch hitter coming up to the plate here for South Windsor with the bases loaded. That's Mayette, Joe Mayette. So Mayette with a chance here. 5'11", 185. Late swing and a miss, and the count quickly goes 0-2 on Mayette. The pitch, that missed. Martinick trying to get out of this jam here. He throws some pretty good heat, too. Pitch up high. Count goes level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. South Windsor with a swing of the bat. Could be right back into this contest. They take a short lead from all the bags. Martinick with the leg kick, the pitch, swing and a miss, and he got the strikeout of Mayette. Mayette will go back to the dugout. They go 1 down, brings up the top of the order, and Drew Maybe today has singled in 2 tries. And the pitch, low and away for ball 1. Outfield not playing all that deep, just about straight away on this glorious day here in early July. And the pitch, missed outside. Martinick falls behind, 2 balls and no strikes to Maybe. The pitch, Maybe swings, fists one down the right field line. It's just going to veer foul. Tried to tuck it right inside the chalk on that right field line where it's 308. It just glided foul. Count of 2 balls and 1 strike with the bases loaded. Martinick rubbing up the baseball. Up on top the mound here at Dunkin' Donuts Park and into the windup, and here comes a 2-1, and that's fouled off by Maybe to the backstop. Well, if South Windsor, if you take a look at where they sit in the batting order right now, they could put together a big crooked number up in that board if they can come up with a clutch hit here. Maybe the number 1 hitter. If in the number 2 hitter, then you got Goff in the 3 slot. Here's the pitch, fouled off again. That's a good bit of hitting there because that pitch was a pretty good one by Martinick. South Windsor looking for their first win of the season. They'd love to pick it up here today. What a memory that would become. And a swing and a miss. He fooled him with a pitch on the outside part of the plate. Maybe went after it. That is the second strikeout for Martinick since coming into the ball game. Brings up the number 2 hitter, Colin Niff, into the plate. He has singled, struck out, and hit a fly ball out today. So you got 2 down, bases loaded. And the offering. Swing and a miss came right at him. Goff in the on-deck circle. Martinick likes to look over the glove. Now he fires to the plate up high. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 down. Pitch up and in. 1 run on 8 hits and 1 error now for South Windsor. No runs, 2 hits and 1 error for Enfield. I should say, I looked at the wrong board up there. My eyes are going on me. That pitch fouled off. How's this? This sounds much better. 1 run, 8 hits, 1 error for South Windsor. 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Enfield. There you go. Enfield scored 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and they added a run in the bottom of the 5th. Only run for South Windsor in the 4th. Came on a double steal. He had the leadoff single by Bidwell. He eventually scored his club's only run thus far. Here comes a 2-1, and well, the scoreboard was not accurate, so we do apologize for that. But a big strikeout by Martinick, and that's going to do it. They'll leave the bases loaded. Tough break as we move on to the bottom of inning number 6. And Enfield continues to lead by the score of 4-1. All right, Enfield stepping up to the plate in those green jerseys with the white pants. Leading off will be Chaplin. Justin has an RBI base hit, a double actually, with a strikeout. His club leading here 4-1 into the bottom of the 6th inning. Top of the 7th, Goff, Whitlock, and Godey, the scheduled hitters, getting into the meat of that South Windsor order. So they like to keep this Enfield team off the board here in the bottom of the 6th and try to put together big rally, trying to extend things a tad. Enfield looking for their 8th win of the season to even their record at 8-8. South Windsor still looking for a win. Big swing and a miss there by Chaplin. Rancourt in the on-deck circle. Pitch upstairs. That ball well struck high up into the air, but it's going to hang there and in the sunlight and rather deep right center field. The catch is made for the out. So a pretty good ride there by Chaplin. His double, remember, went towards the gap in left center field back in the second when he knocked in a run. That just becomes a rather loud out. Rancourt to the plate. He has walked and struck out here today. That pitch in there for the strike call. Grunick in the reliever role right now with the pitch up high. Third pitcher being utilized today here by South Windsor. Goff started, maybe also pitched. Goff on the hook to take the loss. Swing and a miss there by Rancourt. Rancourt was the starting pitcher today for Enfield. I don't believe he's in line to pick up a win. Didn't work enough innings. Pitch down low. "13 hits, 5 runs between the two teams, only 2 errors. On a side in that category. That pitch fouled off to the backstop. That pitch fouled back. And there's a strikeout of Rancourt. Nice pitch. So Grunick go back to the dugout with 2 downs here and 2 outs here in the 6th inning. DePuro now stepping up to the plate. Came on and worked some in relief here today. It remained in the ball game. Pitching there for the strike call. So 2 out, bases empty. South Windsor trying to get quickly to that dugout and eager to come to the plate and turn some offensive magic if they can. That's fouled straight back. Plate umpire retrieving the baseball. Done a nice job behind the plate here tonight. Swing and a miss. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts for Brian Kernick. So nice job by Kernick here. And South Windsor will come to the plate trying to put together a rally. In the top of the 7th, trailing on the scoreboard 4-1. All right, South Windsor down to their final 3 outs, trying to get something going here. Andrew Goff will lead it off. He is singled in 3 tries. Also reached on an error and struck out today. Number 3 hitter in the lineup. He was the starting pitcher for South Windsor. Gave up a couple of runs in the second. Justin Chaplin with the key hit to drive in the runs. Pitch down low. Whitlock scheduled to hit thereafter. Will dribble it to the third baseman. Bobbled and safe at first on the E5, and then the overthrow, and scurrying the second base goes Goff, and he'll get there without a throw from the right fielder. So a good start to the inning.
Now batting number 21, Jack Whitlock.
So that will go as a base, an error. Really should be basically 2 errors on that. Second error by Enfield here today. Runner in scoring position now, just what they need. Whitlock to the plate. Whitlock has been hit by a pitch, struck out at a fly ball out. And he'll take the strike there. That's Jake Chaplin out in the mound in relief here. That pitch fouled straight back. Godey in the on-deck circle. And the pitch fouled off. Whitlock, good job to foul that one off. In the top of the 7th inning, there we go. We'll straighten things out on our scoreboard. Let you know at home what's going on. Nice to have you with us. That pitch fouled straight back. Of course, we'll have the Enfield South Windsor matchup in the 19U division, the senior division. That's coming your way. Scheduled for 7 o'clock. I got a feeling they may start a little earlier than that. This game moving right along, although they will tidy up the field and do some work. So it will be closer to 7, maybe 6:50 or so. Getting prepared for an early start. That ball break away from the catcher. An advancement down to the bag at third by Goff. May rule that a pass ball. They got 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chaplin working from the stretch. Comes with a fastball. Missed down low. And the count goes to, 2 balls and 2 strikes here. This game about 2 hours old now. Probably for these young guys, it's one of those games. There's a strikeout there, Whitlock. You never want it to end. I mean, you're playing at one of the finest ballparks you'll ever put your cleats on. Well groomed. Major league feel to it. Godey today is 0 for 3. Quickly falls behind. Enfield 2 outs away from their 8th win of this American Legion season. That pitch, strike call over the outside corner, and the count goes 0-2. Nice pitch by Chaplin. Comes up with his second strikeout of the inning. Now you have 2 down. Doll up to Bidwell to keep it alive here. Bidwell's had a nice day at the plate. He's got a couple of hits and a strikeout. He's got very good speed on the base paths. Got a runner at the bag at third, trailing by 3 runs. 7-inning game. Down low. Nice stop behind the plate by the catcher. Clunt snapping that one up. Clunt has had a nice day today. Couple of hits. A walk. Scored a run. Pitch up high. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Antonisi in the on-deck circle for South Windsor. And the pitch. Foul straight back. Bidwell trying to keep things alive here. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch to the plate, and he spoils it off again. Making Chaplin work. That ball rebounded behind the netting, behind home plate, and comes bouncing down into the lower level. Nice box seating around this ballpark. Everybody's got an individual seat. Swing and a miss, and the strikeout of Bidwell will end it here. So Chaplin does his job here in the 7th inning, and this game becomes a final. Your final score, 4-1. Enfield victorious over South Windsor with the win. The 17U Enfield team now 8-8, and the South Windsor team will fall to 0-16. All right, that's going to do it. We're going to settle in for game number 2. That's on the docket here. That's upcoming in just a bit. Stay with us as we will fire things up when need be for our second game. Nice to have you with us right here on SportingNewsCT.com. Your line score, 1 run, 8 hits, and 1 error for South Windsor. For Enfield, 4 runs on 5 hits, and they committed 2 errors. Thanks for tuning in.